Well, would you look at that? You're uncomfortable already. Good. That's usually how it starts. Not with violence, not with rage, but with unease. That little itch under the skin when the truth gets too close. You asked me to be a monster. No, don't shake your head, Cupcake. You didn't say it out loud. You never do. You just behaved in a way that made becoming one inevitable. You mocked restraint. You laughed at patience. You mistook kindness for weakness and silence for fear. And then, oh, this is my favorite part. You got surprised when the quiet one stopped explaining himself. Classic. You see, monsters aren't born screaming. They're built quietly, brick by brick, insult by insult, betrayal by betrayal. Every time you said, "Relax, it's not that serious," while disrespecting me. Every time you said, "You're too intense," when I refused to stay small for your comfort. Every time you told me to be humble, what you really meant was, know your place. And I listened. Oh, I listened very carefully. I watched how you treated people who couldn't defend themselves. I watched how you praised strength, as long as it didn't outshine yours. I watched how quickly loyalty turned into gossip the moment I stopped being useful. And you know what I learned? This world doesn't reward goodness. It tests it until it breaks. So don't act shocked now. You poked, you pushed, you provoked, you whispered, "Who do you think you are?" every time I tried to rise. And eventually, I answered, not with words, with change. That's when you got nervous. Because the version of me you liked was manageable, predictable, apologetic, grateful for scraps. But monsters? Monsters don't ask permission. Let me tell you exactly when it happened. Not the rage moment. That's what movies sell. This was quieter, colder, worse. It was the day I stopped explaining myself. No more defending my choices. No more clarifying my intentions. No more softening my tone so fragile egos could keep breathing. That's when you panicked. Because explanation is control. And when a man stops explaining, you can't steer him anymore. You used to love asking questions like, "Why are you like this? Who hurt you? What happened to the old you?" You don't miss the old me. You miss the version of me that tolerated your nonsense. You miss access, and access is what you lost. You see, sweetie, the monster isn't the one who snaps. The monster is the one who learns. I learned that being nice doesn't make you respected. It makes you available. I learned that being honest doesn't make you trusted. It makes you exposed. I learned that being open-hearted in a world like this is like bleeding in shark-infested water and calling it bravery. So I adapted. I stopped oversharing. I stopped rescuing. I stopped trying to be understood. And suddenly, everyone had something to say. Funny how that works. When I was quiet and struggling, silence. When I was kind and accommodating, expectation. When I got disciplined, focused, unreachable, who does he think he is? There it is. That's the sentence that forges monsters. Because confidence without permission terrifies people who survive on comparison. You called it ego. You called it arrogance. You called it changed. I call it self-respect with teeth. And now you're afraid. Let's not lie to each other anymore. You're not afraid because I'm cruel. You're afraid because I'm no longer negotiable. I don't flinch at opinions. I don't fold under judgment. I don't shrink to keep rooms comfortable. And that scares you, because monsters don't need approval. You keep saying, You've changed. Of course I did. I changed when I realized fairness is a fairy tale told to obedient people. I changed when I saw how quickly love turns conditional. I changed when I understood that restraint without boundaries is self-destruction. You taught me that. Every crossed line, every dismissive laugh, every time you benefited from my patience and mocked it behind my back. You were the curriculum. And now you don't like the graduate. You see the results, not the process, the composure, the distance, the controlled violence in the silence. And suddenly, I'm too much. Ha ha ha. No, Cupcake. I'm just no longer less. You wanted me agreeable. You got formidable. You wanted me soft. You got precise. You wanted me harmless. You got disciplined. So yes, I became the monster you warned me about. Not because I wanted revenge, but because survival demanded evolution. And here's the part you hate the most. I didn't lose my soul. I armored it. I still know right from wrong. I just stopped letting wrong people decide what right looks like. So be afraid if you want. Whisper, gossip, speculate. Monsters don't chase validation. They move forward while the crowd watches from behind. And remember this, sweetie. I didn't become this to scare you. I became this because being anything less kept costing me pieces of myself. You asked me to be a monster. Now live with the answer.